Sweet. All right, Stephen Peake. What's up, buddy? Welcome in.
Go me one of these.
Would probably be helpful to be able to talk into a microphone for a live podcast. Welcome in to the Sources Say podcast, your go-to. Ooh, that was interesting. Your go-to Kentucky basketball podcast on the KSR Podcast Network, presented by our delicious, beautiful, just everlasting partners at Parlor Pizza. Shout out Parlor Pizza and everything that they do for us in this program. They're the absolute best. Stephen, it feels good to be welcomed. I feel at home finally here in Fayetteville. We did not get off to the best start last night, as you may recall if you tuned in to what was supposed to be our preview show. Got cut short, not by it wasn't our decision with that, so that was a little bit frustrating. But this is much more pleasant. I think we are here at Walk-On's Sports Bistro here in Fayetteville, and we are allowed to be here. Yes. We have confirmed with that. Everything is perfect in that regard. Shout out to some real Southern hospitality that is coming at Walk-On's.
Yeah, I love Walk-Ons. Love them even more now. They've been nothing but accommodating to us. And yeah, last night was just a weird night overall.
It was so weird.
The whole, we met a guy who knew one of the Kentucky media people. He was from Connecticut visiting.
Okay. Yeah. Because when John Nabors is on his way in, so this will not apply to him. He will not care at all. But I think you as Kentucky fans will appreciate this story. So we get back from dinner last night. We go to the hotel bar. We have stuff to talk. I'm sure John will want to hear about that part of that. But there was a gentleman that was sitting there, was in town for a coaching clinic from Greenwich, Connecticut.
Yeah.
No connection whatsoever, although he, one of his players, he's a football coach, defensive coordinator up there, one of his players is a top 30 recruit in the country and just recently got a Kentucky offer, and there might be some interest. There are some connections there. So
he was literally showing us, in his text messages with Will Stein and some Kentucky coaches in that text thread, so that was interesting.
That was awesome. That part was very cool.
That's not even the most interesting part.
But a total just, random guy you meet at the bar. We're talking football and, Kentucky basketball, all that. Just, it was interesting. And we talked for an hour or two, and by the end of the conversation, it comes up, we're talking about football, NFL. I'm a Patriots fan, so we're talking about the Super Bowl. He's a very sad, lonely Miami Dolphins fan. And we were talking about he's up in the Northeast, so fan of the New York Jets. And we were just talking about the New York Jets dynamic versus the New York Giants, how you grow up in the area and become a Giants fan versus a Jets fan, so on and so forth, Knicks, all of that. And he brings up, how some people become a Giants fan, how some people become a Jets fan. And I am passing just to Stephen Peake, because it is a mutual friend to us, say, oh, Aaron Gershon, former Cat's Paws writer, good buddy of mine. He was at his wedding a month or two ago. Recently got a job down in Florida. He's an SID. Really proud of him, doing great work, but a good friend of ours. And he says, Aaron Gershon. There you go. No, you're from Greenwich, Connecticut. There's no possible way that you would have any idea who we're referring to right now. And he's like, but how many Aaron Gershons are there out there? I feel like that's a pretty unique name. And he goes, scrolls on his phone. He goes, this guy?
Aaron Gershon.
Lifelong childhood friends, middle school and high school.
Went to his bar mitzvah.
Just the craziest. We are in, mind you, we are in Springdale, Arkansas. He is from Greenwich, Connecticut, flying in for a coaching clinic, not even for Kentucky, Arkansas. We are in town for a totally separate reason. Just so happens to be the exact same weekend. And a very close mutual friend of ours happens to know the random guy that we meet at the bar thousands of miles away. Just the most insane setup and story that that was just one little sliver of a very bizarre, unique evening for us here in Fayetteville.
It was. And I will. Can I credit DoubleTree for what they tried to do? And
well, not yet. But
okay. Well, do you want to tell? You're wanting to tell the story, or
yeah, I yapped about Gershon. You tell the other side.
Okay, so yeah, we were doing the show. We do these sources say we do them in lobbies of hotels often.
Literally everywhere we go.
Yeah, and when there's the media hotel in the NCAA tournament, and in case you're the media hotel is always just the best hotel. They give you a prorated deal on it, but it's the nicest hotel. We don't always stay in those. We sometimes we budget a little bit better than that, but just the one we were in Pittsburgh is the one I think of. Like, it's this really nice lobby, and nobody says anything to us because we are usually taught we speak highly of the place that we're doing. And you just know, like, there's an old adage in this profession that's like, it's better to ask for forgiveness than permission, because when you go to ask for permission, it's just we got to contact the general manager, we got to contact the owner, we got to see what the President Trump has to say about it. Like, you just have to keep going up the ladder to finally get maybe. And can we see it afterwards? So, yeah, we just do these, and we never had an issue with it. But last night we did, and I thought it was funny. You put it on Twitter, and it kind of Jack's big following got it, and then it went out, and John Nabors' big following got it, and then when we got back to the hotel, DoubleTree
getting kicked out of DoubleTree.
DoubleTree was really nice. We walk in, and the person at the bar is like, "Do y'all want a drink? We'll give you a drink on the house." And we're like, you don't have to do that. Like, we want to comp your rooms. Like, okay, all right, what happened? Like, what phone calls were made? People did say they were going to call. I didn't. It wasn't really that big of a deal. We were laughing by the time we got back to the room. Right after being kicked out. I think you can see on Jack's face though. In the moment, it was like, what are we doing here?
I was really frustrated because it kind of felt like we were live. And it kind of just felt like he was a very, very comparable situation to a much grander experience for Dave Portnoy with the Goodfellas in Lexington when he's there, and the dude kind of tries to big bro him a little bit by saying, do you guys have permission to be on my patio right now? I'm going to need you guys to hit the exit. It was very like, okay, dude, it would have been so easy to just say, hey, we don't typically allow this. Can you guys wrap it up in 5 minutes? We go, absolutely, not a problem at all. It's just how it all unfolded. It was very, very rude. But to everybody else's credit, they've done a very, very nice job of trying to make up for it. So jury's still out. We still are halfway through our Fayetteville trip, but the first half did not necessarily...
it's made me feel kind of awkward going in there. I try to avoid the front desk every time we leave and walk in.
Yeah, it's like sliding through the side door.
Yeah.
It's not as bad as your experience, at least some part in Lexington when you were in town.
Yeah.
John Nabors, our friends with Inside Arkansas, the best at what he does, covering the Hogs. You lost your luggage when you went to Lexington, so at least we didn't go that far.
Yeah, at least there wasn't that. I mean, listen, I think that...
You just want to hold it?
Yeah, I'm about to say, unless you want to hold it for me the entire time. But, it was one of those things to where... everything about the Lexington trip was great. It was just the return trip. It was getting back home that was the problem. But luckily, I got my luggage found, and, it was all good. And the experience was great. You guys were great to us, which we appreciate. You didn't have to be nice to us. You could have just been really big jerks.
Well, that's what was so frustrating. It was like, you know what? We went above and beyond to make you guys feel so welcoming and at home. So why is DoubleTree deciding to be so rude to us in our response trip? So I'm glad, walk-ons, they've been amazing to get us sitting here and situated. They couldn't believe that, hey, it puts you guys in a prominent spot to be able to promote where we're sitting and get hey, shout out walk-ons, come if you're here, make sure you come visit. So I didn't understand that side of that, but shout out to walk-ons. They are very, very hospitable to us.
Oh yeah, no, they're great here, man. I've done a few shows here myself, so yeah, they're always great to see from. And it's just crazy to think about, a year ago. It's been since, of course, the game in Lexington, and here we are back in Fayetteville. I'm glad you guys can make the trip. Obviously, still got some snow and some ice on the ground that, I don't know if we're ever going to get rid of. But it's good to have you guys here, and it's glad we could be accommodating, except for the hotel arrangements.
So this matchup. It's like the roles are totally reversed from where things were last year. Kentucky was the favorite going into, Arkansas struggling, starting 1-6 in the SEC. Everybody kind of dunking on the John Calipari experience not going well to start with, and that ended up being the resurgence for that program. And ends up finishing extremely well. Goes to a Sweet 16. Fans are super happy with them. This time around, I think it's, Kentucky is desperately searching for a resurgence. They don't have an identity necessarily. They are coming into this matchup as the road underdog looking for the upset. I remember my confidence going into last year's matchup. How is your level of confidence going into this matchup now?
Well, I'm trying to learn from y'all from a year ago and not to get too confident, because I know, because last year, I went into, of course, Lexington. I remember going on Feinbaum show and stuff. I don't expect Arkansas to win this game at all. There's just no confidence in it. But as you said, the roles are reversed now, which, Arkansas was 1-6. I think Kentucky's 4-3, or was it 4-3? 5-3? 5-3. So it's a little bit different, but I'm sitting back and listen, I know this Razorback basketball team, they're good. They're a better team than Kentucky. But I've also seen them lay some eggs and be some stinkers. Like they got smoked by Georgia on the road. Auburn beat them, which is no shame in that. But then LSU and Oklahoma, the past 2 games that they've had against 2 of the worst teams in the SEC, they were down double digits in both games and had to storm back, and they still won. But they are perfectly capable of laying an egg, and I just really hope it's not today on this Saturday in Bud Walton Arena.
Why, when those things happen, why are they so susceptible to laying eggs? Like when things go poorly, what is the key to their failures that could give Kentucky fans some type of optimism that something similar could happen today?
Yeah, well, I've thought about it many times, looked at it, and I've heard from John Calipari, of course, if you believe everything that he says in his press conferences, because he never does. Yeah, he does. I mean, he says everything that's 100% correct. But what it is like they just come out and they're like, oh, we're just going to walk over this team because we're better, we're more talented, and we can just go through the motions and win. And it's been and has to be that because the energy's not there, the focus is not there. They have dumb plays, they take dumb shots, and you're just sitting there like, where was this team just from a week or so ago when, man, you were taking great shots, you were fired up, you were energized. It's like, hey, you can get fired up for Louisville in Bud Walton Arena, you can get fired up for a ranked Tennessee team coming in or a ranked Vanderbilt team coming in, but guess what? You got to get fired up for playing Georgia and playing LSU and playing Oklahoma. So that's what's been the main concern. Obviously, I don't think that this is going to be one of those games that they walk in thinking, we're just going to roll over Kentucky because they're nobodies. But that's, I think, been the biggest frustration is they know that they're more talented, but instead of going out and showing it, they just think that teams are going to just roll over and die for them.
I thought the emotional side was one of the biggest advantages on Cal's side last year, especially. Man, that dude walked into that building, looked like he owned the place he had for 15 years. So his ability to walk in there and kind of just like that video of the close-up where he's holding the Joby Hall program in his hands and he hears the boos for the first time and he kind of does that, wow, all right. And just the way he handled business and, the back and forth in the first half was what it was and then just got off rolling in the second half and just didn't look back. It looked like he had been there and done that. The emotional roller coaster of the game, he kind of hit that high and rode it all the way through the finish line. How do you think that compares this time around where the pressure is, the pressure was on Cal last year to handle business. Now I think the roles will reverse on Kentucky's side.
Well, I'm telling you right now, I mean, there's no doubt that it's a lot less pressure and a lot less tension than what it was a year ago. I mean, I still feel like Arkansas and Kentucky should play each other twice a year, but There was the right move by having that game the first time in Rupp. Like, that was the right move. But here you are a year later. Cal can say all day long after the Oklahoma game, this is just another game on the schedule. There's not any emotions. It's just
he said that about last year's game too. He said, somebody had to tell me that we were playing Kentucky. It's bro. Yeah, I've heard this for 15 years. Stop.
Yeah, he's great at doing those things. So I think that he's still going to have that pressure. He's still going to have that animosity, or he's still going to have that focus and that want to, but. I mean, it's not going to compare to last year. And doing it in front of your home fans, I think, is a big deal, too, because if I'm not mistaken, I think Arkansas is the only remaining undefeated team at home this year in the SEC. So I think that there's just going to be a lot of it to it because he does not want to lose to Kentucky ever again, but nowhere near what it was a year ago, just not even close.
No, yeah, I was going to basically say the same thing, that I don't think that this game carries that same amount of weight. But for Kentucky, this could be, and for Mark Pope, just to win some of the fan base back, this would be massive for him. It's not Kentucky Super Bowl, John.
Yeah, I know it's not.
But we would be lying if we said that this isn't a significant game on the schedule still. And because Mark Pope lost the game last year, I said this last night on the show. We had to stop early. That for Mark Pope, that was his one bad thing last year, was losing to Cal. It was. I don't know, Jack, if you'd ever been a part of a bigger game in Rupp Arena that had the build-up for that than that Arkansas game. So it was the one bad thing. This year, it could be, if we're looking at what this team's probably going to do in the tournament, this could be the one big thing. Do you think Arkansas can kind of match that energy? Are the fans at least matching that energy also?
I think the fans are going to match it because this is, I'll say this because I say this so many times and people have misconstrued it. It does mean something different anytime Kentucky comes to town. Let's just not pretend that it doesn't. It does. No matter who the coach is, it means something when Kentucky comes to town. So you're already going to have that element. But it's also a matter of, I think Razorback fans, because of how much they saw last year and when beating Kentucky in Rupp, turn their season around, they're like, we don't want Kentucky to have that. Because, as you just mentioned, again, you guys have a winning record in the SEC, but you have a lot of tough games in front of you. It's been kind of tough at times. I mean, because I can sit here and talk to you guys all day. Seeing Kentucky's team getting booed off the court in Nashville was one of the craziest things I've ever seen. So I know it's been tough, but it's like, I think Razorback fans are knowing from what it was last year, like, we don't want to be in the reverse. We don't want the Kentucky to have this win that turns their season around, and then Arkansas fans will get back and be like, Dad, well, how did we lose that game? Like, we just don't want to have that. So I think that I think Kentucky's going to come in really focused. I think it's going to be a relatively hard-fought game, but I just don't know. Cal in these games, like when he went up against St. John's in the tournament, Rick Pitino, when he has those little games and takes them personally, it seems like he usually comes out on top. I wish he'd do that for more games. But for certain games like this, it seems like he always is the one that comes out on top for him.
And it's usually his players that feed the most into that do it for Cal as opposed to Cal needing to prove something himself. It feels like his players want to live up to to back their coach. It just feels like it's an undying, unwavering support from the players trying to do whatever it takes to make their coach look good. And I love that. Like, I think it's an admirable thing that I want to be on the other side of that this year, because that's been one of the biggest frustrations about Kentucky is it feels like, yes, they've had a couple of comebacks, but they have gotten punked, and it has seemed like they've been very content with rolling over and dying. Why do they not have that unwavering want to of like, hey, we want to do this for Pope? That part is frustrating for, I think, a lot of BBN right now.
Well, and also, I mean, I don't know how many games you guys have done this, but I know you've come from behind quite a few times in double digits. Like the Tennessee win was phenomenal, and that's, I think, what's kind of scary if you're a Razorback fan. You're like, Kentucky's capable of, hey, even if they're down low, they can make a comeback. But as you've mentioned, there's been a lot of times where they've just kind of rolled over and died whenever. So it's a weird conundrum trying to figure out, like, so which Kentucky, even if Arkansas gets up by 16 points in this game, I think Razorback fans are like, oh, yeah, we're snatching their soul. But at the same time, wait a minute, the same team that did this before. So I don't really know, but I try to look at it from the perspective of, it seems like Kentucky fans, it's still Cal, it's still all that, but it's almost like they got bigger fish to fry in their own program than really worrying as much about the Cal angle to this game because of what's been going on this season.
Jump in. We're weird dynamic with only two mics.
Yeah, I know. Well, one day we'll invest in a third mic and figure out a way to hook that up.
I could have brought my own, man. I have some extra
I almost
mics.
asked you. We got some new equipment. We might be able to get to 3 mics at some point. But no, John, what has been like? Have you had any weird interactions with Calipari? So now that you've covered him for a full year and a half, have you had any that you're willing to talk about here live?
So I think you guys may have noticed, I was in that Vice documentary a year ago that actually got filmed at KS Bar for a little bit. And it's like, he kind of knew who I was. But there was some, not from him personally, but from people on the staff that had animosity towards me because for some reason they felt like I was just trashing on Nellie Davis every day, which I wasn't at all. And I don't really, it's just like I wasn't doing that. And I was like, okay, whatever. But then it's like when that Vice documentary came out, it kind of changed to where suddenly, like, Cal doesn't come up and talk to me. He doesn't get rip about me. But when he's seen me, he's kind of little finger point. I'm like, okay. So that's cool. And then like John Tyson, which you all know, the Chicken Man, he's also kind of been like the same way. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm good there. But not like, as I've said, he's a celebrity who happens to be a basketball coach. Yes. He has no business. He has no reason to talk to me or interact with me. I mean, it'd be cool. I'd love to just, hang out with him, talk about his hobbies and what he does. But no,
TV shows.
Yeah, TV shows.
TV shows?
Little House on the Prairie, the Waltons, fitting here. What was the other one? Alaskan Bush People.
Is that another one?
He watched that one.
Okay. All I know is that he just takes the trash out a lot, and his wife films it on Instagram. That's the main thing I know, which cracks me up every single time I'm seeing that.
That's an oldie but goodie.
Yeah. The roommates, as they call it.
What has been your favorite Cal-ism that is just became so tiresome to us as Kentucky fans that you guys kind of just see as cute and quirky?
Oh, man. There's a lot to choose from because it's a matter of, like, there's certain words that I don't know, again, I haven't watched every press conference he did in Kentucky, so he may have done this a lot there either way. But my favorite thing is whenever he asks a question, it's kind of like hypothetically, and he goes, what? Kind of like that. When he's saying, like, when he went on that rant about players playing coming from the NBA or pros and coming back into college, he says, "Oh, we're going to do this." What? So he asked that, and then I think the one that he always talks about is like no bounce passes to the post.
2 hands.
Yes, and separation is what he keeps saying. Separation. We talk about this in practice. Instead of some crazy pass, separation. Get your guy down low and hit the shot. That one, and why are you shooting threes? That's his whole.
That one.
Yeah,
like that one.
Yeah. It's
I like when he gets really animated.
Yes,
you know?
And they ask the questions too, which love our Arkansas media. There's not a lot of ball knowers in there, and he knows it, and so he really loves. I love asking these guys questions. Did any of you watch the game?
He loves doing that.
Yes,
that's one of his favorites.
Yeah, so it's like those are the ones that always just crack me up. His questions and his polling the audience is the ones that always make me laugh the most.
See what I did? Good.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't see?
Huh?
Just watch the tape.
Yeah.
Watch the tape. You guys know.
Yeah,
You're the perfect person for this job. You know.
He had to pause for 10 seconds.
I want him to say, Jack Pilgrim, he's the right man for this job.
Yeah.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
He's a basketball Benny.
Yeah. He talked about Mark Pope, too. He's like, he's the right man for the job.
That's what I was getting, yeah.
Yeah, he's the right man for the job. He's a great guy there. All of that. It's just, again, I watch his press conference and I'm entertained, but I also take it as it is. Kind of like, all right, well, he's going to answer whatever question he wants to answer, even if he didn't ask it, and then rant about it for 8 minutes.
That is the most fascinating part of all of this, to be post breakup and see somebody else with your ex-girlfriend and going, I remember those days.
Yeah. Yeah.
In terms of personnel, in terms of why Kentucky fans are terrified going into this one, Darius Acuff, obviously number one, will always be number one at the top of the scattering report for this one. What makes him so dangerous? And is it truly a one-man show, or is Malik Thomas also a perfect complementary? You can rely on him to be a 1-2 punch instead of always a one punch, and then you hope that you get the second punch.
I think with Acuff, it's just what you're going to get every time. I mean, I know at Kentucky, y'all have had plenty of incredible freshmen come through there, especially at the guard position. Arkansas, they've had a few good ones, but never to this level, to where he hasn't had a bad game, knock on wood. He hasn't come out there and just had some freshman-type game. He's been automatic, and I think it's because he's just so fearless. He has no fear of the moment. He has no fear of the players. He's just go out and get his, and he does in so many ways. I mean, against Oklahoma, getting 21 points, 9 assists, and no turnovers. I mean, that's just incredible on the road in the SEC. So between him and Malik Thomas, it's those are your guys that you can get going scoring. Malik Thomas is one of the quickest releases I've ever seen, and his ability to pile it up. But then it's always about that other person. Is it Trevin Brazil, who we've seen go out there and go for 20 and 10? Is it a guy even Malik Ewan? It's not like he's been great, but we've seen games where he's got double-doubles. It's could it be him? Who knows? Maybe 3J Wagner comes out and starts to just ball out against his former team. Coming off the bench. I don't know if you guys heard about this. He benched him.
That's where I think Kentucky fans also what happened with him, because it sucks because DJ, we like him. We like the idea of him. We know what he does to his absolute best, but we all had two eyes and saw Reed Sheppard and Rob Dillingham were clearly better. They were clearly the shakers and movers of that team. Why was Cal just living and dying by DJ and allowing himself to die so often? And when the move to Fayetteville happened, we kind of thought, hopefully year 2 will allow Cal to okay, I'm not going to play favorites with him anymore. We just got to play games to win. And he still was riding DJ as long as he did. It was man, all right, that's a losing game. He played well, into the season. I give him a lot of credit. But the move this year to the bench, what was it outside of just, hey, Darius is better?
Now, I'm going to go with my conspiracy theory on this because all my observations that I've seen.
I love it.
So Cal kept mentioning earlier in the year, even when Arkansas was winning games in the non-conference, he kept saying that he wouldn't name a particular player or players, but he kept mentioning players on, you don't get your shot. Oh, I didn't get my points. I'm going to be sad. It's what he kept saying. He's I hate that attitude. He's then you're not playing. He kept saying, you're not playing if you're going to have that attitude. And we kept trying to deduce who it was. And then he kept saying it. But then the big constant factor was in those games of, all right, well, who had a bad game and didn't play well was DJ Wagner. And I think that it got to the point to where, and I don't think DJ was necessarily just throwing a fit, but you could tell it was impacting because man, this is year 3. You're just kind of getting surpassed and you're not getting the minutes, you're not getting the points you want. And I think it just got to the point where Cal was I have to make this move because his attitude is starting to dwindle, his mentality is starting to dwindle, and I got to do this kid a favor because I need him to be successful, but I can't have him be successful when everyone in the team is seeing this guy struggle when he started. I just think it finally, it took a while.
Yeah, that's what we kind of said too during that time, that wouldn't it help DJ if he wasn't put in this spotlight of the starting job where people are criticizing him?
Yeah.
Wouldn't it help him be able to maybe be a little relaxed when he gets in?
Yeah, and I think that maybe just finally is like, all right, after 48 games of having to see something like this, because last year, Boogie Flan was hurt most of the year, and and DJ was really the only other point guard option, so you rolled him out and you could do it. But this year, because of obviously Darius Acuff being phenomenal and even Malik Thomas, I think he just finally was like, I'm going to try it. And when he saw it and it worked, he's like, how about that?
And if DJ Wagner doesn't take a 3 last year in that Sweet 16 game, Arkansas's in the Elite 8.
Or if they just, didn't blow a 16-point lead.
There's also that.
That's nice. That'd be cool. But, I know. That's the thing. Is I love DJ. Like, DJ's very well supported. I'm not going to boo him every time he touches the ball like some people. But, it's something where he's not going to be the guy that is getting relied on. It's more of you got great guard play. Just let DJ be that supplemental guy.
Has he responded well to that? Like, have you heard anything more about his personality kind of souring even more so? Or
no, the first game that he did it, when Cal did, I believe it was against LSU, was when he came off the bench. He got fired up and he played really well. Again, well for his standards, for the minutes that he put in. He was efficient. He was getting some steals. He was playing really hard. So that's where I think everybody was like, great response, because it kind of woke you up a little bit and got the fire under you. So that was good to see, because I was afraid too. I'm like, are you just going to break his spirit even more? Yeah. Seemed like he responded pretty well, but we'll see how it goes the rest of the year, because unless some crazy happens, I just don't see DJ Wagner starting again for Arkansas. But if I was kind of worried, I'm like, it would be the most Cal thing ever if he starts DJ in this game. Like, again, I'm like, stop.
Oh, that
stop.
Would be so good.
Stop it. Don't do this. Just keep going with what works.
John, I got a question for you. I'm going to put a poll up here in a second. Also, if you haven't hit that like button, subscribe. We're trying to get this thing up to 60,000 subscribers here. Maybe let's do it by like the end of
today,
end of January, which would be right. So there was a topic brought up during Kentucky Sports Radio. If you've heard of KSR morning show,
I know them.
Yeah, I've heard of them. Was that yesterday? Yes. These days sometimes run together. Yesterday, Matt Jones brought up, if Kentucky fans could trade right now, have John Calipari be the head coach, how many of them would accept that? And I think, what did he say, 15 to 20% was kind of the consensus among the guys there, among the crew? I know you're not like all the way tapped into the Kentucky fan base, but you interact with them a little bit on
sometimes,
social media.
Have fun with them.
What percentage would you give of Kentucky fans wanting Calipari back? There might be some buyer's remorse in how all of that played out.
Where it stands right now?
Yes.
I'd probably say 20%, maybe. Okay. And that's being generous. Because, listen, I've said this before. I know it's not the same exact scenario, but we had a coach at Arkansas in football named Houston Nutt, who was here for 10 years. And if you look back on his record, you look back at what he did, it was fine. But I was sick of him, and everyone was sick of him. Like, we just need to change, man. It's like, even though, and he went on and he didn't do much at Ole Miss, but the point is, like, I understand where a lot of Kentucky fans come from, where even if it was fine, even if it was still good, and even if it's not the best right now, it was still just the right move. It was just time. But at the same time, though, I can understand Kentucky's, because I think I talked to a few, maybe been you guys, but I'm not saying Arkansas is going to do this, but, man, if they go to like a Final Four national championship, Arkansas does this year, and Kentucky doesn't, I feel like that has to increase the fire. I'm like, man, we should have just kept the guy, I would think. But then again, I don't know. You guys are tapped in more than I am.
Yes, but it was physically impossible with the current setup. So, that's why I think it's such a hindsight thing. It's so easy to be sitting in this position and go, well, if Darius Acuff was playing exactly the way he is right now in Fayetteville, the exact same way in Lexington, well, yeah, we would like that. But the level of pressure and the toxicity and all of the, at the very end of that, John Calipari viewed everybody in his outside of his circle, which was this big, as an enemy. I spent a lot of time trying to work that relationship for obvious reasons. He hated KSR. It is not even a secret. But I spent a lot of work behind the scenes trying to keep that relationship as healthy as it possibly could. And I gave one slight subtle critique at the very end. I told Stephen this before, but all season long, his final year, he said, we're built for March, ignore all the outside noise, who cares if we lose to UNC Wilmington, who cares about the losses that stack up as the year's going on. because the end goal is all we care about. So we get to that point, we get to the SEC tournament. He minimizes the importance of the SEC tournament, saying like, hey, it doesn't impact your seeding. We're just going down there to check a box. I said, hey, you're putting a ton of weight on these kids' shoulders going into March by saying everything up to this point doesn't matter, which means everything past this point is the only thing that matters. So, you better, all right, if I'm here to listen to your argument, but I just want you to know that is a very fragile way of handling it, and if it doesn't go well, then this whole season is for nothing by your own argument. And I made that. That was when we lost. It was Texas A&M in the SEC tournament.
Oh yeah,
we lose that game, opening round, and I post that article late that night. The SEC or the NCAA tournament selection show on Sunday, he always hosts at his house. He says, you guys are the ones putting the pressure on these kids. You guys say if they don't do this, then blah, blah, blah. Basically said, okay, you're another enemy added to the list of my long list of enemies. And it was like, all right.
I like you most of the time, right?
And that,
I had a good relationship with the coaching staff.
I tried to. So I knew at that point, it was like, all right, man, if I, who had been the one guy being like, well, can I give the devil's advocate here? If he turned on me, if he turned on me at the very end, then he was turning on anybody. And so, yes, it sounds great to say, well, Cal could come back and it would just be exactly the way things are going. No, it's because of how stale things got, the messaging, all of the Cal-isms that we've talked about. None of those would have worked anymore with us. We would go, no, I'm tired of hearing that. We want to see wins. We want to see wins. We want to see wins. And I find it physically impossible for anything that he's doing right now at Arkansas to be recreated in Lexington.
Well, and also to your point, too, it's like from the Razorback perspective, I think every Razorback fan's like, you guys got Cal, and I'm sure it was kind of like, hey, this is a long-term thing, because at the time when he came in, it's like coaches, especially then, they stayed at one school for a long time, and he did. Mm-hmm. At Arkansas, I was like, hey, listen, we get 5 years out of him. Hey, maybe go to a couple Final Fours. That'd be cool. Maybe win a title, mess around. But we're not here because so if we hear stuff, if we know stuff, it's like, man, we only got a few years of it. Because we only got a 5-year contract of him. He's going to turn 70. I would be, unless something crazy happens, I'd be shocked if he's here longer than his 5-year contract. I think he probably retires.
No way.
So it's kind of like,
is he going to get a lifetime contract? Maybe he wins a title and then
I'd say Brad's going to be our next head coach in waiting.
Wait till the season starts. Cal retires next year.
That's the cool thing to do these days, I hear. Like I would at Auburn, but no, I think just Razorback fans view it from a different lens that y'all have, where it's like, Cal's loved here as long as he keeps winning, but it's also not this thing of like, if he has, one bad year or stuff kind of gets a little bit weird, it's like, oh man, what are we going to do? Do we got to make a move here? And he's like, hey, 5 years of John Calipari. Let's just hope for the best 5 years we can get out of it, and then we move on to something else.
Yeah, it's fascinating being where we are right now and knowing that there is very real concern about the long-term future of Pope here and whether it's going to work or not. But I don't think any of those questions or talking points have anything to do with whether Cal, and I love Cal. I am excited. I can't wait for the day that he's done in Fayetteville and he can come back to Lexington. He takes Joby Hall's seat and he can sit there and just, be celebrated every single time the camera pans to him at Rupp Arena and fans go crazy. That's how it will be at some point. Probably sooner rather than that 5 years. I bet it's that 5 years wrap up, he will be booking the first flight to Lexington and be staying there long term. And I think that's how it should be.
Yeah.
But that doesn't mean that another minute of him in Lexington was going to work.
Right.
But it is fascinating to kind of get that dynamic where is Pope necessarily the perfect guy for the job right now? Very much TBD, but fans, I think, are using that as we shouldn't have gotten rid of Cal. It's like, no, it works both directions. You can still be uncertain about the future while also recognizing that it was time for a fresh start.
Well, going back to the Houston Nutt example, I know this is another name you guys know, but after Houston Nutt got let go, Arkansas the next season, they had Darren McFadden. They beat number 1 LSU. Great. Next year they go 5-7, and they go 7-5. Where Houston Nutt goes to Ole Miss and goes 9-4, 9-4, and everyone's like, what's going on here? Well, that coach that was at Arkansas was named Bobby Petrino.
Yes.
And then by year 3, Arkansas won 10 games and went to the Sugar Bowl. Back when the BCS games were really something. Right. That was a big deal. And then the next year they won 11 games, went into the Cotton Bowl, finished number 5. So my point is those next few years are always the toughest to get over, but it could be something where, guys, 2 years from now, you guys are coming back to Fayetteville, assuming that they don't do the 2 games in an SEC play, which they should. But you guys would come back to Fayetteville and be like, oh, yeah, how do you like that John Calipari now? Like, yeah, we went to the Final Four last year. So things can change on a dime. It's just where it stands right now. I totally understand how Kentucky fans feel. It's got to be tough. But as I said, I'm happy. I'm glad Cal's here because it looked pretty bleak at the time when they were trying to figure out who they were going to, looking at Jerome Tang and stuff. I'm like, get out of here with that. Yeah, so, thank you, John Tyson and Chicken for doing what they did. But again, I think both teams, both programs, it was the right thing for both, and that's where we're all right now. We'll see how the rest of it plays out.
In terms of this season for you guys, is there, do you guys finish this year going, we want to go to a Final Four? Is there any type of expectation, or do you say we're hoping for the best? Is there a floor for any of this? Sweet 16, no, this needs to be an Elite 8. We already went to the Sweet 16. So what is the temperature of the fan base?
Well, Razorback fans, maybe you guys can relate to this too. We've never really, we always love to snatch victory from the jaws of defeat. Look at our baseball season this last year. That was fun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so as Razorback fans, we just kind of always assume the worst. But at the same time, I try to tell Razorback fans this, and this is something that kind of blows them around. They've been blessed and spoiled. Arkansas's been to 4 of the last 5 Sweet 16s. And you guys know, going to the second weekend, it's not the end game or anything, but it is a much bigger deal than losing in the first weekend.
Nice.
And Arkansas's done that, and in the year that they didn't go, they didn't even make the tournament. It was much as last year. So I think the expectation is hey, it's a crapshoot when you get to the tournament. However, if Arkansas gets a high seed, which I think the highest seed that they've had recently, Muss's second year, they were a 3 seed, went to the Elite 8. It's if you get to that level, okay, then the expectations get elevated. But last year when you were a 10 seed, it was man, if we could just find a way to screw around and get to the Sweet 16, it would be a big deal. But here's a little stat. I think I've told you guys this. Arkansas has never been upset in the NCAA tournament in their program history, ever. The biggest upset they've ever had was when they were a 7 seed and they lost to a 10 seed, Arkansas and Butler. Wow. That's it. They've never. Now, granted, people are like, oh, well, they've never been a really high seed. It was no, even the Nolan Richardson days when they were high seeds and Eddie Sutton never have lost. So, and I know St. Peter's and all these teams. So I'm wondering how Razorback fans.
Baby, it's coming.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm wondering how, if that happens, which hopefully it doesn't, but if that does happen, how are Razorback fans going to handle that? Because they've never experienced that type of loss, embarrassed loss, before.
Kentucky fans had not really experienced anything quite like that. UAB, as a 8 or 9 seed, whatever it was, in 2004, got Tubby Smith's 1 seed. That was upsetting, but probably not at the same level as losing to St. Peter's or even Oakland in 2024. So, yeah, it was, for me, it was I remember being in Cal's house for I think it was the 2023 NCAA tournament draw, and he said, that was the first time that ever happened in my career. Almost it happened, it ain't going to happen again, and then 2 years later, they got him again. It did happen to Mike Krzyzewski, though. He got upset, I think, by a 15 seed.
Lehigh and Mercer.
2 out of 3 years, which is what Cal did, and then he won a title a year later. I think 15 to 14 they lost to Mercer, right? And then 15 they won it all. So maybe that could have been Cal's comeback year. But no, I totally agree with Jack too. I think I do have this theory that last year for Kentucky, I just don't know that it was going to work at all. Maybe you probably you have Sumto and you have JQ, so those are 2 different pieces that Arkansas didn't have. So maybe things go slightly bit better. But you look at that. That schedule last year Kentucky had to play was brutal.
Yeah.
And they probably lose to Duke. They probably lose to Clemson. They probably lose to Gonzaga. I'm still struggling with that, Jack. But if you would have gotten to this year, then maybe things, but like Jack said, it was probably so toxic that it just, do you get guys to want to
it was a civil war every single game.
And Cal was getting clowned on by the national media. Now he's a freaking media darling. What the hell's going on? Now the national media and all the basketball people on Twitter love John Calipari. I remember for the last 5 years it was, you all have John Calipari and he's washed up. Now that he's speaking out against what's going on in college basketball, everybody loves him again. I'm like, how did this happen? Everybody loves John Calipari again.
You know why it happened? Because he got the fresh start that he needed to be able to play the hits to a new audience.
Yeah, and also, too, it's funny because you mentioned about him being the media darling and speaking out. It's like, hey, that's another Calism. He says, nobody listens to me. Nobody listens. I'm like, Cal, I think a lot of people in the college basketball landscape listen to you. But yeah, no, maybe it's just going to the Sweet 16. Once he finally got that off his back, he's like, oh, yeah, this guy's good. We can still like him again. Because that was something that frustrated me last year. In the beginning of the year, because Arkansas was struggling, we all know. And I got sick of it. The graphics, like I put up Mark Pope with his first 14 games, only lost one game. But Cal in his first 28 games lost this. It was just like, well, you guys are stretching over here, man. You're trying to do it. And I think that's what rallied a lot of the fan base around Cal. Because as we all know, we hated Cal. I hated Cal my entire. He was the most hated coach I had. I hated him at Kentucky. I still hate Malik Monk. I still hate all of that. I hate Archie Goodwin.
I love
I know you do.
Personally.
I would too if I was you. But like the second he got hired, I was like, this is still weird. He's my guy. But when all of that was going on, it really rallied a lot of Razorback fans to be like, hey, you can't say that about our guy. Only we can say that about our guy. And I think because of the weird disdain and coming from all over the place, I think it really changed a lot.
KSR's fault.
Yes, probably.
KSR's the ops.
Again. Today, Ray, what's up, man? Today, Seth Greenberg went on College Game Day, and I think this is going to get the best of Stephen Peake as well, but you got to get your take as well. They were talking about just the current state of Kentucky basketball and how things are going this season, what's not working, the $22 million roster, all of that stuff. They were talking about, the defense stinks, but the injuries, you got to keep that in mind. But overall, it's an objectively bad product currently. Then Seth Greenberg says, I think there's a bigger issue. Kentucky fans are absolutely unrealistic. They think that they're supposed to win every single game in the world of college athletics. In the last couple of years of college athletics, more good players are going across different schools. 13 or 14 schools made the NCAA tournament from the SEC. Kansas was picked 6th in the Big 12. It's a microcosm of what is going on, where the good players are spreading out throughout the landscape. The whole idea is Big Blue Nation is great. They have expectation. That's great. But you know what? It's harder to do that when than in the past, because there are now more players in the game. Are Kentucky fans unrealistic with their current frustration with Mark Pope and how this season is going, given the roster cost, but also running John Calipari out of town for the lack of postseason success?
No. I mean, honestly, truly saying it, I don't think Kentucky fans are unrealistic, because if you're a program that's built on the success that y'all have had, and because me, it's like, if you have a talented roster, one of the most talented rosters, regardless, on paper, that comes with expectation. And when you have that, if you're not meeting that expectation, you're going to get frustrated. That's sports. Like, find me any sport at any level where you have one of the more talented teams on paper and you're not succeeding, that people aren't upset and saying this is unacceptable. It's just the way it is. And, if that's the case, look at other teams and other programs that have found some consistency. Like, look at Alabama with Nate Oates. Like, I can't stand Nate Oates in Alabama, but it's like, how are they able to be pretty consistent with their success? And then, because they have talent, they have all that. Does that mean that if Alabama this year lost in the first round of the tournament, then the fans were upset by it, that suddenly, like, you guys just have unrealistic expectations? Like, no, it's like you've built and established how good the program's supposed to be, and that's what you got to build upon. So when you fall short, yeah, it's pretty upsetting. So I don't buy that. I don't look at it as an unreal expectation, especially because Kentucky's the only school in the SEC where basketball's number one. It's the only school in the SEC that's that way. Yep. And because of that fact, it's no different than what it would be for Georgia in football or LSU in football or whatever. You expect excellence and greatness, and if you don't get it, a change needs to be happened. So I don't think it's unrealistic. I think that there's weird years here and there. The tournament, as we all know, it's a crapshoot. Sometimes you lose in it, sometimes you don't. Because I feel, what was it, one year, I think Kentucky went to a title game when they were an 8 seed or maybe so. So yeah, so it's like sometimes things happen, but as far as expectation goes, I don't know, I call that loser talk. Usually it's like anybody that says, you guys are just too unrealistic. It's like, well, that's what losers say. So
yeah, that's what they said about Mark Stoops, and then Will Stein got hired because that you realize that you do have a standard, and even if you reset the standard, you still have to meet that standard. You can't use the history as we did do that in the past, so Do you think BBN is unrealistic, as Seth Greenberg says?
Yeah, you can't.
You need the mic for this one.
All right, BBN. You can't be asking for stuff like, an SEC title every 7 years or so. You can't be asking for that, Jack. 0 Final Fours in a decade. What do you want? You want a Final Four every 11 years? It's insane. Come on, it's the winningest program in all of college basketball history, this is what we're living in right now. Jack, is the worst 6-year stretch in Kentucky basketball history. We are actively living in the worst time to be a Kentucky basketball fan. Now, I would say that is going to end fairly soon, because eventually, especially if the money's going to be there. Either Mark Pope figures it out, or you go and you get somebody else. Eventually, Tubby was fine. He ended up getting a couple 1 seeds after he won the title. You've had 5 1 seeds since Rick Pitino left. Isn't that insane? Like, Duke has 12. Kansas has had 12 multiple titles for both of those teams. I mean, that's the part that really upset me though was when he said, "Well, you have a bunch of players going to all these other schools, so yeah, you're gonna take some losses." But the top 8 teams have 8 losses combined, and Kentucky has 7. There's a reason Kentucky fans are a little upset right now. It's the most expensive roster in basketball, and it was very clear for me. The Georgetown game was enough because as Mark Pope said, they didn't really invest in runaway talent. They invested in depth, and right away we saw, the depth may not actually be there. So that's frustration for this year. But as I said, the last 6 years and the last 4 years of Calipari were the 2 worst tournament losses in Kentucky history. They haven't won anything. This is the longest streak without an SEC tournament title. It's the longest streak now without an SEC regular season championship. And I'll grant, the SEC's gotten a lot better. So it's not just one team investing in basketball and running away with it, but it's still the other big schools are having success. Why is Kentucky not doing that as well? And yes, they've had 2024 was a good season. Last year was a good season. 2022, another great season. But you have nothing to show for it. And that's not Kentucky basketball. We're not asking for a title every 3-4 years. As I've been an adult, I've seen 1. I have no memories of 96, and I do have memories of 98. So, in my lifetime, I've seen 3, and I'm 35. I'm very realistic about how lucky you have to be to win a national title. There's a lot of luck. As you said, the tournament is random. But I do know, you have to get 1 seeds to have a consistent shot at it, and Kentucky's only done it 5 times since 1997. So that, to me, is a long-term failure for the whole entire Kentucky basketball program. It's amazing that Cal couldn't get more than his 3 1 seeds that he got in 15 years. That's frustrating because as I go through the data, I realize you almost have to be a 1 seed to win the title outside of a few years in the last 30 seasons of college basketball. So, no, you're not asking too much to try to do what Kansas has done or what Duke is doing this year. You should be right there with those teams every other year.
And I think that is part of my frustration with why this game is so important. And we had this conversation last night before we were so rudely interrupted, that this game is very important for just in terms of fans just want something. Fans just need something to hang on to say, okay, this is that high that we haven't had in so long. And just sticking it to Cal one time is going to give us at least a temporary feel. And it's by doing that, by acknowledging that is a high, you are moving the goalposts of the program as the winningest tradition in where we used to make fun of the Indianas of the world that put, Christian Laettner shots on popcorn buckets and they recreated at fantasy camps and stuff the years to follow. It's a decade since they are still talking about that Watt shot. And we are very close to trending toward Indiana territory where we're going. But, hey, at least we got that 1 win over Cal that day in Fayetteville, should it happen. No, that's not what Kentucky – they should view this win as, hey, we needed this one. The timing was perfect. But to say that to be gaslit in this way, to say that, the guy at the podium, the day he took the job, selling out Rupp Arena for a press conference saying, I want you guys to crush me with every single loss. We have a standard that deserves to be met. Our assignment is to hang banners. And then when you're trending toward not hanging banners, you didn't hang any banner last season outside of first Sweet 16 since 2019. Great. Loved it. But didn't, you were one and done in the SEC tournament. Oklahoma was great, but then you got spanked against Alabama, absolutely destroyed in the Sweet 16 against Tennessee. Nothing still to inch closer toward understanding the assignment with hanging banners that was the standard set day 1 of Mark Pope. And then now we're the bad guys for going, well, Dave, hey, didn't you say that was the standard? Didn't you say that's what, and you wanted us to crush you if you didn't meet the standard, and you're not currently meeting the standard by losing to 20, combined 30-point average in margins of defeat in both games in Nashville this year. Gonzaga 35, Vandy 25. But I thought that was the standard, and so now we're the wrong ones for holding you to that standard. It just feels very gaslighty. I don't like, as a diehard fan that lives, eats, breathes, and dies and cares about this stuff, to make us feel like the bad guys for holding people accountable to the standard that they wanted for themselves.
Yeah, well, again, I know this is a Kentucky program, but I'm going to make an Arkansas example. Y'all are going through kind of like what we are in football. We've had in the past 10 seasons, we've had 3 0-8 seasons in SEC play. We've had 2 1-7 seasons. So half the years in the SEC over the past decade, Arkansas has won 1 or less SEC games in a season. It's been tragic. It's been terrible with the McFadden years and the Matt Jones years, and then of course with Ryan Mount and Petrino. Like, it was great, and it's the same thing where fans like me get frustrated when everyone's like, "Hey, Arkansas, just go over there, man. Who do you think you are?" It's like, no, I know what we're capable of, and I feel like that's how Kentucky fans are seeing this. It's like, no, we know what we're capable of. We know what we have. We know we have every single thing that you need to win at the highest level year in and year out. We have a fan base. Like last year, and I said it, Rupp Arena was awesome. I knew you guys had a huge fan base, but the amount of Big Blue Nation that was there, just in the city of Lexington, even if people couldn't get into the game, was overwhelmingly incredible. It's like, it's amazing how many fans are there, the support's there, the money's there. Like, there is zero excuse for Kentucky basketball not to be a contender in the national championship every single year. And if Pope's coming in and saying that stuff from the jump, then it's like, that's going to make you get out of here quicker than anything, is if you start getting sensitive and you start getting upset, or whoever it is gets upset because you came in saying, I have this expectation, you should have it too. Okay, well, we're holding you to that expectation. Well, come on, guys. What do you...
It's hard.
Yeah.
Like, games are hard, right?
Yeah.
It's hard.
Yeah. I mean, truly, that's what it is. So, I'm with you.
Mark Stoops.
Yeah, Kentucky fans, he said, I don't like Kentucky. I never like Kentucky, but I'm not stupid enough to not understand that Kentucky basketball is the premier program of the SEC and should constantly be in national championship contention every year. No excuse.
Hey, I like that. That was some A1 stuff. In terms of today, like we've talked generally speaking, but what do you expect to happen today? Like, what are your individual keys to the game? What are the things that if Arkansas does this, Arkansas will win? If they do not do this, Kentucky will win. If Kentucky does this, Kentucky will win. Where do you stand on just the actual outcome?
It's going to be very cliche, but it's honestly about the start. Like Arkansas, when the games that they've lost and lost badly, like against Georgia on the road, they were down 19-4 at one point, just sleepwalking. Same thing with Auburn. They were down big early. Now against Tennessee, they got down 9-0, but it was still early enough to where they stormed back. But the games like against Vanderbilt where they blew them out in home in Fayetteville, or South Carolina when they blew them out, they started strong. They started strong, and they just never let up. And so to me, it's going to be about that. Because the worst thing I think Arkansas could do is let Kentucky get any sort of confidence, any sort of, you get to the under 12 timeout and Kentucky's got a 3-point lead. And, no, if you want to actually win this game and not even look back, you got to start and you got to take their soul from them. But if Kentucky comes in and starts getting fired up, starts hitting shot callous to take an early timeout, with 2 or 3 minutes into the game, that's going to be a bad look. So to me, it's just about the start. It's about the energy that they come out with, the ferociousness that they come out with. And if Darius Acuff starts getting into his groove early, if Trevin Brazil's out hitting a 3 or 2 to start, if you have some random player even Carter Knox, who doesn't get talked about near as much because he hasn't been that, but if he comes out and starts hitting shots, it's like, could be a long day for Kentucky. But to me, it's just about the start of this game, because if Kentucky gets some confidence and they're playing pretty well, it could be a long day for Arkansas.
Hey, Stephen, what should you tell John about Kentucky starts and the level of confidence that we have in this team's ability to get out guns ablazing with this high-octane offense?
Kentucky's, I got the Jason Ince tweet right here. He's got it laid out for us. Kentucky's played 8 games away from Rupp this year. They've trailed by 16 or more in 5 of them.
Ooh. Ooh.
Every road game, every single true road game, Kentucky's gotten down by 16 or more. Now, they won 2 of them.
Tennessee, LSU? Was
Tennessee and LSU, and then against Louisville, they cut it to 4, had a chance to cut it to 2 with some free throws, missed the front end. But it's a theme, and Arkansas is undefeated at home this year. Is that right? So, you can understand why we don't feel so good about how this may go.
So let me ask you guys, because I haven't watched every Kentucky game. What makes them just suddenly like, all right, now we're going to start playing and try to come back? Like, is it just some magic like, hey, we're going to try?
We look through the film. We have a break, like when they break down the film show, and those guys are just like, they just start playing better.
I asked Andrea Yelovich, hey, it was right after LSU. I said, hey, you guys do, you start off horribly, but you do kind of always find a way to fight back. Why? And he said, I don't know, man. I don't. So even the players that are on the floor, he started in that game and didn't understand why they went from first TV timeout. It's the starts are always in, but then the death below is always 16 minutes to 12 minutes down to that 10. Like the first quarter of the game is always just an absolute, just disgusting nightmare every single game. And then it's like, okay, the last 3 quarters of the game is when they go, okay, we may make a move at halftime. Sometimes we don't, but we have made a move before halftime. And then once we come out of that tunnel, it's like, all right, now it's time to play.
Yeah. It's glad you could show up, at this point in time. So somebody's got to start badly. So I mean, I feel like it's going to be
something's got to give.
Something's got to give, yeah. And who knows? Maybe whichever team starts badly is the team that's going to end up losing it. But I think again, the energy's there. I'm hoping. Honestly, I wish y'all would have beaten Vanderbilt because I'd feel a lot better about this game.
Well, we were very close, John.
Yeah, yeah. Saw the final score. Looked like it too.
Just ran out of time.
Yep. I was
play that game for 7 years and we weren't winning that basketball game.
I was in Norman for the Oklahoma game and I was checking the scores like, oh, but that made me sad because I'm like, I feel like it's back in a corner type of thing. But I don't know. I feel like honestly, true. I think it's going to be a game that it's maybe similar to like last year. You remember the start of it, both teams are just hitting shots right and left. I could see that totally happening, but energy's going to be there. There's going to be 19,000 people there. It'll be a fun atmosphere, a fun game, and I truly mean this. Like I'm hoping for a good game. I really do because I think it's just so much more fun for the conference for everybody. But I just don't know which Arkansas team's going to show up, but I don't know which Kentucky team's going to show up either. It's up in the air.
I will take it being going into that final media timeout with us not knowing. Hey, this could go either way. It's a 5-point game. You never know. I'll if you give me that, if you said here's that scenario right now, I'll take it. I think Kentucky's going to have to get hot from 3, though. I think they're going to have to hit 10 or 12 threes. And honestly, when you break it down, you're like, where does that come from? This team's capable of shooting the ball decently well. Losing Cam Williams hurts so much, but there's a guy like Andrea Jelovich. That's your guy. I love his form. King. I think he's a baller. He just hasn't really made shots consistently. Maybe, Jack, maybe today's the day those shots start falling. And, I thought last year as Carter Knox hit a 3 from the corner at the end of the half, I was like, well, okay, if that's what's going on.
Big Z hit 4 of them.
Yeah.
Yes. Maybe that, we just need our Croatian addition, our European stretch 4 to come in and hit some shots. Maybe we're speaking this into existence.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you guys real quick a question because I'm curious about this. How do y'all feel? Because I hear rumors that there's going to be some former Wildcats in the house tonight in the Cal section.
Oh God.
No. I'm just curious of how does
Shepard?
I'm just honestly asking how did the Kentucky fans does that drive them up a wall if they see Alex Poitras was at the game for Arkansas a few weeks ago. There's no connection to Arkansas other than the fact that he did go over the back on Bobby Portis in 2014. But still, but how do Kentucky fans? Does that bother fans pretty heavily?
Hell yes.
I figured it would. Just want to make sure.
Do we have any idea what level are we talking here? Are we talking an Ashton Hagens level guy? Or are we talking
Did Derrick Rose ever come to Kentucky?
No.
So that annoys me.
But he's a Memphis guy, though. So
but Alex Poitras is a Kentucky guy.
Well, I know, but if Derrick Rose came here, I don't think that would bother anybody, right?
I don't know. No, I'm saying that he never came to Kentucky.
Oh, I see. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah. Well, I can tell you this: it's not a current NBA player because they're playing in the NBA. So, but I've just been hearing some things.
So then it can't be like a Derek Willis. It can't be one of the Kentucky guys. The reason why Reed's feedback was so horrible.
Derek Willis, Darius Miller, and Reed Shepard.
Well, of course, I don't know. SGA is just 3 hours away.
Yeah.
Quick trip.
The fans will burn that building to the ground if that happens. The few blue fans, it might be Steven, joking, obviously. But, yeah, that would be horrible. Yeah, please, we're begging. That actually concerns me. I don't love hearing that. Give us a level of stardom.
A really solid starter for multiple years at Kentucky and was part of a Final Four team.
Oh, crap.
Yeah, I know that really limits it right there. But, there's just again, I've been hearing some rumors.
Will he be wearing red?
Now that I can't tell you.
That can't happen.
It's a whiteout. So
what do we got here?
Oh gosh, this is water, right? It's water.
Are they Arkansas fans or Kentucky fans? Do we know? All right, John's going to take.
I'm about to say, do you want me to test each one of them first and make sure?
I don't know if this is a good idea. Yes, that'd be great.
Yeah, I think. Well,
all right, what is this?
It's Ruppelman, apparently.
What does that mean?
It's so Ruppelman shot is a very strong but very mint, like a peppermint almost type of thing. Yeah. So, But yeah, since I'm over here, so we should be good. Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Hey, the amount of drinks that the nice
John,
Kentucky
here,
fans. Yeah,
I'm going to take this one.
Shift them around a little bit to make sure.
Mine didn't change, so I could be dying.
There we
right
go.
now.
There we change mine out. We'll go over this, and then there
now
we go.
that's just his. All right.
But no, we appreciate it.
If we're poisoned, it's your fault. Okay?
Yes. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
All right.
See, look at this. You guys, you may get kicked out of your show at a hotel lobby, but hey, you get Ruppelman shots. It's a good trade-off.
It is.
All right, are we doing this?
We are doing this.
All right.
All right.
Go Cats? Can we get a Go Cats?
No.
No, all right.
No. Go Hogs.
Ooh.
Smooth.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Doesn't make me feel any better about a former Cat.
Yeah, I was about to say, does that help at all? No, probably not.
Can I get an update on the poll?
Yep.
We got, where are you as a Kentucky fan in our poll on YouTube? Would you rather have Calipari or absolutely not, he needed to go? Absolutely not, he needed to go is in the lead, 67 to 33%. Now, adjusting for Arkansas fans in the chat, because there are some.
Oh, we don't do that. Come on. We don't jump into y'all stuff and
You
troll.
guys are toxic in that. Like, you guys are just always online obsessing over that nonsense.
Yeah, we have no lives. We hate everybody.
Yes,
so,
that's
yeah.
a good point.
So about, I would say 28%. 28% of Kentucky fans watching right now, let's see, out of 200 or so votes, say that they would rather have John Calipari right now. Do you think that's pretty high?
I do. Well, do you say, do you guys, does 28% of you feel like you wish John Calipari was?
28% of me? Is
Yeah,
that
the 28% of you feel like it?
Yeah, but I still think like last year would have been miserable.
Right.
Like it would have been so miserable that I don't even know if I could have done it this year. You know what I mean? Like I think I would have. I don't think John Calipari was a big fan of me even. Like he barely. I don't think he even knew what my name was. But he.
Why does he not like you?
You want me to tell that story again? Do you want me to tell? I did this last year and we lost. So I don't know if I should keep telling it, but he said something about buying an island, and I just was, we're all just messing around.
He said, if they fire me, I'll just buy an island with the money. And he didn't, so that works.
Fired. Yeah, and okay, so that's another thing too. Like people say, like Kentucky fans like ran Cal out of town. Well, I mean, like Kentucky fans voiced their frustration, but it wasn't like people had pitchforks and physically made him leave. Like he left on his own.
Yeah,
he was not fired. He could have come back and been Kentucky's coach.
I mean, we did y'all because correct me if I'm wrong, there was no buyout if he left, right? So we saved him.
Right. Not at all.
Yeah,
it was like
it worked out.
Fans saw that unfold and go, "Man, that really stinks that he's gone." But it was like, but we're also not financially crippled because of this move. So hey, shout out Cal. And then Mark Stoops was kind of the exact opposite. He did stretch to his credit. He stretched it out and didn't totally screw us over, but. Mark said, "No, if you're firing me, I'm taking my money and running with it." At least John had that at least helped. I think for the fans viewing him not so terribly, but what should we as fans, first time experiencers of Bud Walton Arena, what should we expect? Will I be booed? I'm wearing this. I'm just not blue, but like a denim-y UK sweatshirt. Mm-hmm. You're going neutral with a UK hat, blue hat.
Blue and white hat.
Well, it's a whiteout, so no matter what, you guys are going to stand out.
Okay,
so, yeah.
fair. Whiteout. I thought Cal didn't do T-shirt nights and things like that.
No, that's only at the lesser programs he does that. When he comes to the big programs, he does
the big boys.
The big boys comes to superior programs. He loves those shirts.
I said this on the show last night, but I want to get your thoughts. I think the marketing team Cal had no idea that the whiteout thing was happening.
1,000%.
I think this was the marketing team thought this was a good idea, and I think Cal is seething somewhere.
1,000%.
Watching this whiteout.
1,000%. Because Billy Richmond's dad just tweeted out, "Hey, how about a whiteout?" And everyone's like, "Yeah." And then suddenly the Razorback Twitter account's like, "What do you say, fans?" And it's like, "Yeah." So then it just kind of happened in Cal's.
Are there T-shirts? I saw the towels.
I don't think there's T-shirts. Yeah, we can't afford that anymore. We got too much of a roster.
Too much on Cal.
Yes, yeah, too much on
Darius.
Darius.
Money though, you can afford anything.
Yeah, but yeah, John Tyson's over there. If you get to see him, man, that guy's just vibing over there with his beanie on with Tyson on it. And he's just having the time of his life. But no. So going back to it though, this is y'all's first time at Bud Walton?
Never been.
Really? Okay. So. It's a great atmosphere. I talked to Nick Rush, good mutual friend. I know he came to the game that Cal was ejected from back in 2020.
Yep.
And I've always said, I've been to games at Bud Walton Arena my whole life, that's the loudest moment I've ever heard in Bud Walton is when he got ejected. That's how much we hated him. You guys ended up winning that game, and Cal makes sure to bring that up every time. Even at Arkansas, he's like, I got ejected one time for this game, which we won the game, by the way.
Kenny Payne won those games.
Yeah, he came in. Yeah, and you know what? That was the best thing because Kenny Payne got to do the press conference afterwards, and Cal didn't have to do it.
Shocker.
So, yeah, it worked out. But
does that bother you guys?
Game too.
It's kind of annoying, but it's like if it's like the midweek or whatever, no. But post game, especially like if it's a big game, it's kind of annoying.
It pissed us off as media members too. We could be previewing. It was like Champions Classic. We were previewing Kentucky, Kansas. And both teams top 10, big storylines or whatever, and he'd send out Bruiser Flint. We'd be like, bro, read the room. Nobody cares about what Bruiser Flint has to say. Whether I like him or don't like him, it is not Bruiser Flint's time to speak.
No.
So, interesting that you guys also dislike it.
Yeah, but I will say, you guys, I really hope it's like the atmosphere, the energy is going to be loud. It's going to be great. Bud Walton, they were doing some renovations in it. The media is not really well received there. They don't set it up very well for media. Just telling you guys right now, do not record and do not stream anywhere in that building.
Really?
Yes. I'm just telling you right now.
Are we going to get double treed?
You might. The sports information department's going to come rolling at you.
No, come on.
We're live. We're live
right now.
How are we feeling? Can we squeeze in?
Yeah, I'm about to say. You can take my seat, man. You're more important to me in this anyways. No one wants to hear from the Razorback.
Okay.
You a Kentucky fan? How are you feeling?
I am. I'm from Lexington, or I was born in Lexington. I'm from Tennessee.
So what are you doing here?
I'm here to watch Kentucky win.
There we go. I like that. I like
a little confidence coming in.
I go to Arkansas State, so.
Oh, okay.
I mean, I was
Red
like.
Wolves? Yeah. What is it? Is that the name of it?
Red Wolves.
All right, cool.
But, I think it just swapped from last year, so it's like. We actually have a chance, and I think we can catch them off guard, or I hope so. But also, if you go in without any expectations, you don't get disappointed.
That's where we're at. Exactly.
So it's like
moral victory of you.
It's kind of a win-win. It's like if we lose, it's like obviously, but if we win,
if we win, we'll never shut up about it.
Exactly.
That's what's on the line
because it's our Super Bowl. It's all that matters anymore.
Hang the banner.
We don't push her. Once beat Cal in Fayetteville that one time.
Hang the banner in Fayetteville
after getting 30-piece by Vandy.
Yeah. All right. What happens? What you give us your prediction?
All right. So I think this is the Trent Noah game.
Trent Noah. What? Holy hell! What an absolute. All right.
I don't know. He gets hot. And that's all he does is hit threes.
How many does he hit them?
I'm saying like 3.
Okay, all right.
But I also think this is a Mo Diabate game.
Okay.
And then Denzel Aberdeen's just going to go in there. And I mean, he's a senior. Like he's seen good point guards before. So like, I don't know. Darius Acuff is special, but not that special.
There you go. Darius Acuff.
Put on a T-shirt, man.
Right.
We love that. That's some good stuff.
I'm sorry.
No, that was great.
Can I get a picture of that?
Yeah, John, you want to take it?
I'll take the picture for you, my man.
I'm sorry.
I'll hold the mic too.
Man, how official. Awesome stuff, man. Great to meet you.
What was your name?
I'm Alex.
Alex, good to meet you, Alex.
Okay.
Alex picking a big Kentucky victory. We love to see it better than anything, John. Sure, give us one.
I'm thinking 80-76 Cats.
80-76. All right, we love it. Trent Noah game.
Trent Noah hits the
Do you know who Trent Noah is, John Nabors?
No. Why would I know who this Trent Noah person would be? Come on.
Mountain Mamba.
Yes. Listen, the only thing I think of Noah is that actually no, Cal said something about Noah, and I'm trying to remember. He had some funny Calism about Noah.
Did he really?
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love to hear that.
I know. I can't remember it though, but I remember. I'm going to.
We can stall.
I think I tweeted it once. I will have to go back and check it out. But yeah.
You won't stall. I'll look up John.
Talking about it's like in one of those like summer random like open practices that he has with the media, and did a press conference when nothing was really going on. So I don't remember. But yeah, if you find it, it was a pretty good one. That's all I remember. So
I hope we do.
Noah.
What did it been? Trent?
Might have been, yeah.
Type in Trent to see.
Or I may not even have tweeted out the name of it too. Yeah, you're going to see some nonsense on there, man. You're going to find out.
Search.
Yeah. And that'd be it though.
Well, all right. What other, what is your worst fear about today?
Arkansas losing.
Well,
I mean, but yeah.
But like this was the one thing that couldn't happen that did happen.
Honestly, I think seeing like worst fear actually this would be a scenario where not only, of course, Kentucky wins, but they look good doing it. Like, there's a bunch of, like, hugs and stuff from players and Mark Pope out there, like, when the game's basically over. Cal gets ejected and they still lose. Kenny Payne's the one that's got to come in the press conference afterwards that we got to hear from.
That would actually make my day.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Whatever would make your day perfect and amazing, it would be mine an absolute nightmare. So I think just getting where you can't hit shots, you're getting blown out, you're getting punked at home. All those horrible situations could all come together. And that's why I'm really hopeful that it doesn't happen. And then Rick Pitino comes out and puts out some awkward video and says, hey, that was a good win for Kentucky. I'm glad nobody booed Cal this time. Something weird like that.
That was a headline. Trent Noah, apparently, the reason you don't know him is because he didn't play last year against Arkansas. Apparently, it was a headline at some media outlets. I don't know.
Were we at a point last year where Trent Noah was the difference? And I love Trent, like Mountain Mamba, sure, whatever. But were we at a point as a fan base where we thought that Trent Noah was the difference in Kentucky winning and losing last year against Cal?
I don't think so, but that was coming off, I think, the Tennessee game where he hit like 1-3.
Fair, okay, that actually is a good point.
Yeah, but it was like I think he only hit like 1-3 in that game. But, I mean, hey, look, Kentucky needs to hit 10 or 12 threes. If it's Trent Noah is going to have to he's going to play today. And I don't think it's a Trent Noah game. If Cam wasn't injured, Trent would not be playing. But since he's going to play, pull it, man. Like, just let her fly. Take 3 threes a half if you're going to be out there.
Well, Arkansas's three-point defense is bad.
I know.
That's what also is a big fear is just saying you guys can't miss from three.
You also face some teams with bad three-point defense and unable to hit shots. But maybe I really do think there's guys on this team that can get hot. You can Denzel Aberdeen. We've seen him get hot from three. Otega, as slow as his shot is and as ugly as it looks, he doesn't shoot the three all that bad. Colin Chandler's shooting somewhere around 38% against high-level teams. Like, there's some good shooters on this team, and it just for this whole season, which when the sample size keeps growing, you just have to eventually say, okay, they're just not good at this. But we've seen it in spurts, and you just at any night, I feel like they can light it up. It has to happen tonight because you're not beating Arkansas making less than 8 threes. I think you have to get to double digits on triples.
So would y'all's worst scenario be obviously getting blown out and something, but like DJ Wagner going for 30 and like hitting like 8 threes or something crazy like that? Would that be pretty brutal?
Dunk at the end.
Yeah,
that would do it.
Yeah, holds up his Arkansas jersey, does that and stuff. Would that be kind of brutal?
All the Kentucky guys who are there flashing Arkansas jerseys. Yeah. There's a nightmare scenario to all of this. Certainly, yeah.
What was the fan reaction when we made such a big deal about the Reed Shepherd thing? Did you guys, were you guys just laughing?
Yes, that's what it was. The game last, I said this when I was like, I think it may have been on y'all's show, and I was like, because they're like, oh, what if Arkansas wins? I'm like, it'll be hilarious. Yeah. Because it's like, this wasn't Arkansas versus Kentucky, it was Cal versus Kentucky, and Arkansas was just the bystander, and we had no expectations, and we just laughed about it. Because, again, Reed Shepherd wearing a Razorback, like, was it a shirt or shorts? I can't remember which one it was.
No, he very incorrectly wore the Arkansas shirt and the UK shorts, which, buddy.
Yeah, that's...
Read the room. You cannot have Arkansas cross. That's croppable. Just horrible decision.
Yeah, and so, like, when we saw, that's kind of funny because we have no connection whatsoever to Reed Shepherd, so why do we care what he wears? If he would have came out with all Kentucky stuff, we wouldn't have been like, hey, buddy, why are you, who played at Kentucky, wearing...
Coach, man.
Yeah, we wouldn't care, but then the fact that it was just funny because, like, oh, I know Kentucky fans are going to hate this, and that's what made it pretty hysterical.
Hey, shout out to BBN MJ on the YouTube stream for the $10. And also BBN MJ, I met him at Rupp Arena. Great guy. He's from New Jersey. His family moved to Lexington, and he just, became a huge Kentucky basketball fan, as one does. Once you're exposed to it, John, you can't help it. That's what I felt. You kind of being a little Kentucky. This place is freaking cool, man. What was Cal's line? Where everything, and I mean everything, turns blue all around you. So once you experience the Big Blue Nation, John, it's hard to not be a fan of it, right?
Well, it always helps when you win in Rupp as your team, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, you had a good time.
Trust me, it wouldn't have been as fun.
Go back.
Oh, yeah, no.
Would you ever go back for a non-Arkansas game?
I would. No, listen, it was everyone was real nice for the most part, and I had a great time. And I mean, again, the atmosphere is great, the fans, but it's like you don't see very many in this conference basketball schools, and Arkansas is because I always look at it, hey, if you could win a national championship in football, basketball, or baseball, what's everyone going to vote for? I assume in Kentucky, if they could have one, they choose basketball over football. Is that right?
Yes, definitely. But I think if either of them were guarantees, I think they'd say, well, it's never happening again for football, so let's take that and
I get it.
We'll let everything else play out with basketball because odds are more like. But yes,
yeah. So because of that fact, it's really awesome to see a fan base that it lives up to the billing of we're truly a basketball school that loves basketball, and we are all about basketball. That's a cool thing.
I've heard people say before, I will trade 2 basketball titles just to have 1 football championship, and I'm actually the opposite. I would never winning a football championship, but winning 5 more basketball titles in my lifetime would mean a lot more, because that's the pride of the whole Commonwealth is basketball. We love the football team. I'm a big Will Stein fan. I hope he wins all the games, but we're a basketball school.
Wait, I think you just said Cal's exact speech verbatim.
That's what I was doing. Yeah, you see what I'm doing there.
I noticed the tone changed a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Any comments? We're going to wrap this thing up. Any final questions? Make sure you get them in the chat so we can.
Or anyone insulting my physical appearance, be sure to read them.
Yeah. Do you enjoy playing the heel? Because the Kentucky fan base, look, they come after Jack. They come after everybody. Jack has bazooka holes in him. Right, Jack?
This is hilarious.
Yeah, we're playing the hits over here, man.
Yes. Play Freebird. So is that kind of fun to be on that side of it?
Yeah, because when I was at SEC Football Media Days this past summer, Nick Rush was there. He's like, hey, man, you want to do a quick interview talking basketball and little football too? I was like, perfect. Well, luckily, I brought my Razorback DJ Wagner jersey, and I wore it for the interview because I'm like, I just want to show support for my favorite player, 3J Wagner, and it's fun. It's because it's all in good fun, and I think it's great. We've always, it's we always talk about it. It's not saying that, Arkansas, Kentucky's the greatest college basketball rivalry ever. But I think that there's just a lot of similarities. Kentucky's a better basketball program, not comparing it. But I'm saying there's a lot of similarities between Arkansas and Kentucky as far as being a big basketball school. Not main, but having a great fan base that understands basketball, loves basketball, has a lot of history in basketball. Because I think Arkansas and Kentucky are the only schools in the SEC to have 3 or more Hall of Fame coaches that have coached here. And so it's I think that there's a lot of similarities, there's a lot of fun in it. And I think it's just great for college basketball when Arkansas and Kentucky are really good and fighting it out against each other. It's just good for the South and good for the basketball stuff in the South.
Do you guys consider Fayetteville in the South?
This is a controversial thing. Arkansas is the South, but Fayetteville is kind of, because of Walmart and Tyson, you get a lot of transplants from all over the place. So it's just like a hodgepodge group. Fayetteville is more, it's a college town. It's a Southeastern Conference college town. But the culture and everything's maybe a little bit more Midwest. I hate to admit that, but that's kind of how it feels.
I'm not when we do map out our road trip, we plug it in and we're looking at hotels and stuff, and you look at the map and it's just a straight shot west. We were like, well, that doesn't make any sense. I just think in my head, Arkansas. I know it's kind of in this area, but I wasn't expecting in this area. So that did surprise me.
Yeah, it's when it was just 12 teams in the SEC, Arkansas was the most northwest team in the Southeast Conference. It was all the way up in the corner. But no, hopefully you guys have enjoyed Fayetteville. It's a great city. I grew up here and love it here. And, it's a great place to – Bud Walton's a cool spot. And I think it'll be good. And hopefully it's a trip that you guys want to return back. And hopefully people stop kicking you out of things. It'd be great.
Hopefully we don't get booed out of the gym. Hopefully, I think the fans are going to be fine.
Yeah.
Even at their worst, I wore obnoxious Kentucky gear to the Louisville game. The pregame walk and talk was a lot. Fans were getting a little aggressive, and it was fine. But it was you could tell that there was some animosity there. Tennessee, I just got booed doing that. It was
flipped off too.
Flipped off quite a bit, but that's fine. I just somewhere in that ballpark would be nice. I'm cool with getting booed.
Yeah, listen, fine with it. You guys booed me when I walked into KS Bar. As soon as I said
when you walked in the door here.
Yeah, listen, I expected at this point. I expected at this point, but honestly, if they didn't boo you, you're not doing something right. You got to get booed from the opposing fan base. So, but yeah.
Any questions before we wrap this bad boy up?
Is Braden Hawthorne playing tonight?
No. Next question.
Okay. We also had where are they at? Tell them again. Put their questions in.
Put your questions in. You get 2 minutes for questions, and until then,
had, but it went away. I had
Look for it because I have shout out. I feel like I'm cheating on our friends at Parlor Pizza today. There's no Parlor Pizza outside of Kentucky and Indiana. Those locations are absolutely magnificent. But out here, like I looked, I tried to build one in time, but there's no Parlor Pizza here. So Parlor, if you want to extend out to this enemy territory, give the fan base what they deserve because it is very, very good pizza. But while we're cheating on Parlor in the short term with walk-ons, just make sure our heart. Make it known our heart is always with Parlor Pizza. Parlor, make it your game day destination from award-winning pizzas like the Doctor, a fan favorite hot honey pepperoni, to Parlor's famous hot house smoked wings, extensive craft beer selection. Parlor has a menu that will please the whole family. Their location on Harrisburg Road is just a short drive from Rupp Arena. Don't miss out on their great happy hour. Come in Monday through Friday, 2 to 6 p.m. to enjoy discounted pints, cocktails, and starters. Parlor is looking forward to celebrating 2 new locations this year, coming soon to Lexington out at Hamburg and Richmond, Kentucky. John, I know that you love our friends at KS Bar. Mm-hmm. Shout out KS Bar. But next time you're in town, I'm going to treat you to Parlor Pizza.
Please do.
It is just delicious.
Please do. That's my favorite thing about going to other SEC towns is trying out the local flavor, where the places to go. And last time I checked, everybody loves pizza, so I'm all about it. I'll have to come in next time. Hopefully, again, it's next year where they should at least have the game in Rupp for sure. But, I'd love to go back. And who knows? I think Arkansas, I don't know when Arkansas and Kentucky play in Lexington. I feel like it's been a billion years since they played in football in Lexington. So maybe that happens here soon, too. So, love to do it. Love to check it out.
Anything.
People want to know score predictions. What's your take on kids going to the draft, not liking their position, and coming back to college?
I think it's fine as long as, they do it instead of doing it the way that they are doing it, where they can actually go and then come back. But no, I've always been a fan of that. Like, hey, go check out where you measure up. If it's not what you want, you're able to come back. I'm for that.
Well, okay, so what about getting a 2-way contract?
Oh, yeah, no, that's stupid.
Okay, but there is. Okay, let me take Nate Oates' position on this. And I don't necessarily believe it, but just for the fun of we're doing a talk show. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. You're allowed to take Big Z, who played professionally. You're allowed to take our guy, Andrea Jelovich. He played professionally. Why? How come an American who plays in an American league professionally isn't allowed to go and play college ball?
Well, to quote the great John Calipari, and from that, the rules bees the rules.
There are no rules.
And that's what he was saying.
I talked to my team. There's no team.
There's no team. There's no rules. But I get what you're saying. But it's like, I'm going to quote also Jurassic Park, one of my favorite movies, Dr. Ian Malcolm. You were so preoccupied of whether or not you could, you didn't think to stop whether you should. And that's my problem, is I'm like, okay, can you? Yes. Can you do it? Sure. Should you do it? No. Like, you shouldn't do this stuff. And the NCAA needs to step in. And honestly, I think it would fix a lot of things if the NCAA just told Alabama, be like, all right, well, if you're going to play this guy, you're not going to the tournament.
Yeah.
And I guarantee, and I guarantee you they'd stop. So I'm just not a fan of it.
I think they'll get sued for that, I guess, too, if they were to do that.
But at least I think the NCAA would have, like, hey, this is our stance. We might get sued for it, but we are going to do our damnedest to make sure you don't make the tournament if you do.
And I guarantee you that I'm not saying this would happen, but you know how many college basketball coaches or ever be like, hey, I'll help fund the loft fees to get this from happening. Like, whatever it takes. Because, you got to have a stance in something. It's just, again, Nate Oates wouldn't be doing this crap if his team was undefeated and doing really well. I mean, let's be honest about it.
No, you're right, and it's a position of need for them. That's why, and I'm a big Mark Pope fan. I do believe in this coaching staff, but man, that all that happening just like made me think Nate Oates was the guy. Like, because could you imagine? Kentucky was hated with John Calipari doing one and done. It would just be so fitting that Nate Oates would be at Kentucky trying to bring guys from the G League and from in the NBA, and then everyone hating Kentucky again. It felt like as I was watching that, I was like, this would feel very familiar.
Kentucky-y thing.
Yeah. No, and it would make us everybody hate Kentucky even more.
Exactly. Yeah. That's where we want to be. See, here's the thing: a lot of people like Mark Pope.
Yeah, he is. He is a little too likable. I
want people to hate Mark Pope because he comes into your town and he beats your team.
Yeah, I just don't want to hear him.
Any more? You got any more, Jack? Come on.
I hate this.
I don't want him to come in and I don't know. I could say, like, is he going to bring up the Old Testament and the Book of Job today? Like, if they lose, be like trials and tribulations, going through it all.
I don't walk on water.
Oh, that's true. I think sometimes he does though, depending on what type of water it is. But
he swim on land.
See, again, you guys have had like 15 years of experience. Like, I'm still trying to keep up with all that. Yeah. So I'm just over here doing with the questions. It's like, you guys have actual. What was it? The thing that he's like, oh, I got to run. I got to get to my car.
Gotta get to my car.
Gotta go to my car.
he used the whole bus as like a reason to have to leave, and in that moment he was going to do it again, and he realized, we're in Lexington. I got to go get him my car. Whoops.
Yeah, well, that was he does that when he's just like, guys, I'm done. Thank you. He stands up and he's like, all right, fine. He doesn't sit back down. So then the zoom just has a big old zoom in of his crotch. And I'm like, great. This is awesome. So, so you'll probably get one of those today. But I don't know. This will probably be long as
you were supposed to do something. That was my favorite.
We're going to make this out to be leave my players alone and let them be young. All right, questions. You know what, guys? There's a little bit. 28% of me that misses John Calipari press conferences.
Oh, they're great.
The one where he goes, Auburn lost, right?
Yeah.
No, they lost.
Oh, that did. Yeah.
They said he went full like Joe Pesci in Home Alone, like Ratchet Fratchet, like over here. He's like, I got to get out of here before I miss him. He's like, yeah, because he was going to go on a rant and make a point, but when they lost, he's like, yeah, jeez, I got to go.
God love him.
Score predictions is what people want to know.
Score predictions. All right, John.
I'm going to pick Arkansas. Sorry to do it, but I think Arkansas wins this game. It's going to be high scoring. I think Kentucky's going to come in, and I think they're going to score a bit too. But I think Arkansas wins this one, 92-80.
Damn. This is our Parlor Pizza pregame predictions, by the way. Shout out Parlor Pizza, but yeah, I don't feel great about it. Nothing about this trip. Usually, like we are just suckers, man. Like every single trip we go on, we feel pessimistic, and then. Optimistic? Oh, yeah, we're winning this game. And we just haven't got, like, maybe I'm, like, in the middle here. Not as negative as I was coming in, but I'm definitely not where I need to be in terms of big picture optimism. So I'm still picking, I can't remember what my exact score was, but I think it was a 14-point win for Arkansas. Unfortunately, I just think Arkansas is a good team. I think it's a bad matchup for us, and I just don't think we're mentally prepared to come into this building and win today at least. So I'm going with an 86-72 loss for Kentucky.
Man, I hate this. I don't want to even give a score. I've never predicted Kentucky
Pick a win.
to give a double-digit loss.
We can't have the full.
What did you have? You had a 12-point loss.
That's right.
14-point loss. I have to pick 16 to keep the vibes going. No, you know what? I don't think that Kentucky's going to win. I actually think there's a possibility that they'll lose by 25 again. I mean, why not? But hang on. I'm going to say, but why not just pick and I could be the one person who's right. How many people in KSR have picked Kentucky today?
Nick Roush.
There you go. Nick Roush and I. Kentucky wins 81-80. And it's a thriller, and Mountain Mamba hits a big three at the end.
Like Alex predicted.
Yeah, we're going. I'm taking Alex's pick here on the as the Parlor Pizza player of the game. I'm going to predict it'll be Trent Noah. We'll just be so shocked. He'll hit 4 threes. Alex only predicted 3. I'm going to say one more. Because why not, Jack? Let's just go ahead and predict the Kentucky win. It sucks going to games thinking like, I hope they can keep it within 30. So let's go in there hoping for a win. Why not? I'm going to try to adjust my attitude before I walk into Bud Walton for the first time.
Well, I hope. That sounds great. For Jack Pilgrim, for Stephen Peake, and for our very special guest, John Nabors, we appreciate all. And where can fans find I don't think our fans necessarily, but there's enough fans in our chat that they would like to know where you're working.
Oh, yeah, especially if Kentucky wins. If you want to control our post-game show, which I know you will,
for sure.
You can check it out Inside Arkansas on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of that, and check it out InsideArkansas.com. And also follow the show. Follow me on John Nabors' show on social media. You can troll me there because I'll deserve it, and I'll eat it if our Kentucky wins this game. So bring it on. We're ready for it, but hopefully it's a great game.
We will not be going live inside of Bud Walton Arena because they will kill us. They will just
from the crow's nest,
right in the middle of the floor. We will die. So we were not going to do that. Obviously, we want to live and survive this. Hopefully, we live and survive a victory here in Fayetteville and wherever we can go live or record. I don't know. We'll figure it out. But you will see some type of rapid reaction after the fact. Hopefully, celebrating a big time victory. So for Jack, for Steve, and for John, we appreciate each and every one of you. Go Cats.